pretty good performance. You would have been happy with pretty much just about all of that game.
Just totally pumped. A lot of pressure. Going from losing to New Zealand by 20 and sitting there in the locker room and looking at what's ahead and thinking you're going to be playing a lot of games for the first time for me personally that don't matter, and how are you going to keep this team moving forward. I thought the schedule, what we dumped early, too big of a road to hoe with where we were and where we were as far as development and where it was at and what was needed to be done. And that was my mindset. And then moving to a position, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago going, shit, we got a chance here, but it's really a fine line. And now, doing all that work and getting to a game like this, watching, Phoenix play, watching the Jack Jumpers play, nervous, hoping, we get some help, and then, playing a game like this and what we have ahead, how important this one was. And, I'm really nervous coming into it because it would have been disappointing after all that we've done to put in a poor performance. But that was all within myself. And just coming into the locker room and listening to the guys, I really didn't have to push those buttons. It was just talking about style of play and what we needed to do, because they were, on all cylinders and understood the importance. And just, again, like you said, really pleased with, there's little things we can improve on, but what we set out to do got done, and got great performances from the roster right through. And the guy sitting next to me has really come on, and found his understanding with our team and getting a better understanding of the NBL, and just been huge during not only tonight but this whole sequence of success.
You put up 108 points. You shot at 60% from the field, but your defense was really good shutting them down as well. What aspect were you happiest about, or were you pretty happy with both ends?
I was happy with both ends. Well, if you said, things to get better at, I just thought we got a little sloppy with the ball. We got in foul trouble in the second quarter with a lot of time left. Made some, a guy's got a layup and you foul him and he puts it in and they get to the foul line, and now you're in the foul count with 4 minutes to go. And we had little patches, end of the second quarter, end of the third quarter, where we were sloppy with the ball. And I know I'm not. We won the game by 30, and I'm not. But it's just trying to get ready for what's ahead and getting better. So the other aspects of the game, the matchup on Patterson, the matchup on Kadee, we saw is huge. And to hold Patterson to 3 points, to hold Kadee to 3 points, that virtually puts them in a situation where they're not going to win. And those were the guys did a really good job there. Really good job there. We saw them as Franks is going to score, do his, but Patterson, they play off the balls in his hand a lot, and then Kadee is just a major. When he's going, they're really tough. So those were two keys, and we did a good job on both.
And Duop, for you, I'm not sure if you could play a much better game. Looking at your numbers, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 13 to 15 shooting. You have to be pretty happy with that right now.
Definitely. Just shout out to the guys, I felt like a lot of the guys found me under the basket. And, they made my job really easy. All I had to do was just finish. And, definitely shout out to the guys tonight.
How excited are you now looking ahead to these last 2 weeks, knowing that really destiny's in your own hands? If you play well in these couple of games against the Kings and the Wildcats, you can finish top 2. You might even finish on top. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great challenge for us. End of the day, we just want to, focus on ourselves and try to be the best team that we can be. If we do that, we'll be okay.
Yeah, sure. G'day, Gorge. You've spoken so much along the way, mate, about wanting to be in games down the back end that matter. To have the Kings in Wollongong, to have them twice down the stretch, and to have Perth, do you feel it is genuinely, now that you've sort of got past these games against the Bullets that, you know, you sort of had to take care of business. Does it really feel now, though, that finals are coming, like a couple of weeks early?
No, to be honest with you, there's another feel now, but for 2 months, I mean, we beat Phoenix. You know, everyone was saying you haven't beat a top team. And I'm kind of scratching my head because we've beaten Sydney twice, and they're the best team in it. And, you know, lost to Melbourne by 2 and lost to Phoenix after the siren or at the siren, you know. And then there's ourselves. So, you know, you go into this stretch, and we got Phoenix twice, who was top at the time. We've got Melbourne on their home court twice. And I'm just saying those are huge games. We lose any of those games, we're not secure in this thing. You might not make it. So now we've moved to a point where now we're playing for positioning, and you know, I keep saying that a huge part of this is we're a regional center, and it's ourselves and Cairns. Can a regional team become a Perth, become a Melbourne, become a Sydney, a team that's constantly in the fore and it's hard to do. And now to come back the second year after last year and be in a position now that we're going to go to the playoffs. And as you said, now we've got, I made it a simulation to, you know, the guys, you know, you're at the casino and, you know, you're taking the money out of your pocket that pays for your kids' education and you're betting. You're a little toey. Now we've got these 3 games to go, and it's like you've won $5,000, and now you're playing with that money. We're in the 4. Now we're playing with that money. Let's see how we roll and where we roll. And then we got the playoffs coming up. So I'm excited. Chest to the wind, head up. We get a beautiful game against the Kings at home, the best team in this thing. Then we got that double on the road. We'll be hardened going into those playoffs no matter which way they go. So really excited about the future.
That was going to be my follow-up. Ordinarily, you might not want such a tough run home, but now, like you said, that you've sort of booked that spot and you're probably also playing at the peak of your powers. Is this now the perfect run into the playoffs for you, to be playing Kings in Perth away?
I think it's fantastic, and believe me, the city's aware of it. And we're trying to get, and it's 2 years now, trying to get the community of Wollongong behind the team. And it's a hard slog, you know, with COVID and playing 10 games Monday, Wednesday, Friday at home. There's some energy in the community every time I go to the shops, every time I walk down the beach. But COVID, the scheduling has been ridiculously tough. So to play a game in Wollongong and have that place packed, you know, you walk out of there underneath and you look up and you go, this is what the goal was. And that's the way this thing's going to be for the rest of the season. And you got to enjoy that. We've earned it. And I really feel that the guys are going to do our community proud. I love the way they're playing. I love the way they've stayed together. And we're playing good teams, but I like who we are as well.
Just last one from me too. Duop, you gave a lot of credit to the team there, and you have along the whole way in this sort of form you've produced over the last 8 weeks. But just on the personal front, what do you feel was changed for you, or what brought out your best when you had obviously that flying start to the season, but then a little bit of a dip, but since then you've just been, you know, absolutely smashing it? What did you look at individually, personally, to get your game back to its best sort of through that rough period?
I think it's just learning, you know. I felt like I just had to learn some more things about myself and how I can affect the game, you know. And one thing is probably just being more active on the court. Just try to, just play with more activity, and which is crashing the glass. And just playing a little bit more harder. I think once I started doing that, everything started kind of become a little bit more easier for me.
And Duop, can I just ask one finally? And actually, if you don't feel like talking about it, that's fine. But I noticed the AR written on your wrist, and I assume that's for Illawarra Hawks, and we know the tragedy that he suffered. And you both came from a very similar part of Perth. Are you playing with him on your mind for the rest of this season?
Definitely. Yeah, that was like a little brother to me. Yeah, definitely always on my mind.